Hey, what's up everybody? This is Phantom Revenant from Meme Center. You guys know me for the mural that I've done. So, I haven't got much questions about it, but it's something that I do want to talk about. Just because it's taken over a month to do, and I think that I should just say some stuff about it. So, I'll get right to the start with why I did it. One of the main first reasons was that whenever I was Phantom Unit 000, I made a post that was really rude to the community, and I remember St. Bolt told me that people complain too much about it and that they need to just find the good part of the community. So I wanted to get involved and try and involve as many people as I could. And I think I did that for the most part, but I'll get to a little more about that. The second reason was that whenever there was a list, something like a zombie apocalypse survival team, or my favorite followers, or something like that, I was never involved in any of these. I remember that Kyle Q69 would involve me in his comics. It was great. I owe you, Kyle, a lot for that. Jimby for just making an honorable mention before he disbanded the Fugo army. Let's see, who was the other? Yeah, I've written it down, so don't try and, if you're wondering about that. Yeah, Valen Reclance and Gaxtec, they did a giant follower post. It may have not been that much of an effort, but to me, just being mentioned, it's something that's pretty good for me. And Ninja in Pajama made that giant post or drawing or whatever, and I was in there, and I guess Gen654 also did that. And I know the one thing that I hated the most during these lists was the breaking point that got me to work on the portrait a lot more was Zayn Mustafa. Puts a giant list of 300 something users or more in the comment section, and I am not on there. Not as Phantom Unit 000, not as Phantom Revenant. So there was that. The third reason, and I think the most important reason, was because many people never have these kinds of fan arts. Not many users will ever see something like this. Some just never do. You know, Gearboy has a bunch of fan arts. I'm pretty sure Halo has a bunch of fan arts, and Gaff and Ice and Saku work alongside each other. But there's a whole bunch of groups that have never seen someone draw for them. So I think that at least knowing that they exist and saying, hey, here you go. It was only by an inch, by a square inch, but I think that made a good difference for them. And I guess I'll start with the thankings, because why not? I want to thank Meme Center for all this work that's been given me, and I know the admins probably, I'm not on their good side, and I want to thank Mustafa just because he hasn't banned me even though I've said some stupid stuff around him. Let's see. Claire, he's a very responsive admin, and Ben, I'm pretty sure, has a lot to deal with, so I want to thank him with that. And UFuck also responded to the report comment button being glitched out, so thanks for that. And I want to thank the 61 or more followers that weren't involved in the portrait, but they are still following, so I want to thank those guys just because they don't have much of a reason, and that goes to the next one. The 136 people that are following me and were on the portrait. So just means you're gonna enjoy the rest of my works, I guess. And I want to thank the community as a whole just because they were the ones that worked with this thing. 300 users, and I had to find and ask around people for them to reference somebody, and sometimes I did decline somebody, but more than likely I would always say yeah. and half the time I would always say yes. The only time I ever had second thoughts on saying no was just because of melophobia, and I'm really sorry, but I think you and I know the reason, and I'm sorry about that. But maybe one day we're back at the top of the MC community, and I'll do the drawing for you. Let's see. And I guess I'll do the number since I'll have a big announcement after this. Well, a few big announcements. The first portrait I did was the Meme Center's top active ranked 100, or the ones that I thought were active, for the most part. There were 61 people in that, and 4 people followed me in that, from those 64, so it was about 6.64% of my follow base came from that. Or, no, 6.64% of the people that saw it said, hey, have a follow. But I know some of them, like Born to be Featured, and I think a few more also. I can't have the names right off the top of my head, but they did leave a comment, and that's big enough for me. On the Personal Pals one, there were 62 users and 41 people followed me from there. And that's about 66.1% of the people that were on there decided to follow me before or after. I'm not sure, just because some of them, as I said, this was my Personal Pals guy, like Squidnarf, Ice Cold, Dark Werewolf, or Gaffet as I like to say, Sakayari. Bunch of them I've known for a good amount of time here on Meme Center. See, the people that I've met along the way post, there were 65 people in that, and that was the most people ever in one of these portraits. And 36 out of 65, 55.4%. And if I'm right with this one, this was the one that I decided to just take a leap of faith and just go with a user that I haven't talked to or anything, and I think Elegant King really appreciates it. And next post was the one where I actually had the democratically elected one, so Dark G-Com's portrait where he fronts. There were 62 people in that one, and 29 out of 62, 46.8% follow rate, whatever. But I really enjoyed that one just because it did get the community involved a little more, just because they got to choose who was the guy in the front. And I think it made a lot more activity going on with that. Also took a little stress out of my day, since I didn't have to decide who's going to be in the front and center. On the final post, the mural one, it was 63 users and 26 follow from there. That's a 41.3% follow rate, and on that one I decided that I wanted to just have the entire front row, just because, why not? Not much involvement, but it still was a good enough work for me. And I know many of you that saw it know that Just Wanting to Help isn't around, and she's not active, but she is a veteran. Could be considered a veteran user. And the reason she's on there is because Vega did ask me if she could be on there, and I think that with all she's done for the community and how she's helped me and a few other users, that why not? So if anyone's mad about that, the best I can say is that I'm sorry that if you weren't involved, then I probably didn't find it. And with that, the total numbers were 136 users out of 313 decided to follow me, and that was a 43.5% of the people drawn decided to follow me. So a single drawing for them, and I thank you guys for taking that much of a step. And out of the 100 and something followers I have, 136 of them, it's about 69% of the follow base that I have were drawn into that portrait. So take the numbers, whatever you want. And now there's just the announcements that are left. Oh, yeah. If you all noticed with the portraits, they're supposed to connect side by side, but the stuff's over there and it's on a desk, so I don't want to take the walking distance and stop the video. So what I'm just going to say is that if you look very closely, they do not look like they can connect. And on first impressions, many would just say that it's just because I'm lazy, or that I was not precognizant in any manner or fashion. And some would say that, oh, maybe he's just waiting to finish everything up so that he can then draw it in. And the guys that had the first opinion would be right. However, along the way, I did want to at least get those two connected. Well, to make sure that each of them are connected and that it doesn't look like it's just a mess. So, what I'm saying is that just because, so for the people that aren't involved, there's still a chance. That's right, I'm done with the mural whole pieces, as I said, and see, I'm done with the mural pieces, as I said, but I'm gonna be working on the fill-in sections of those entire things. So, if you're not in there, you still may, you just have to make sure that you're an active user, a veteran user, and blah blah blah. Try and message me, try and communicate with me, try and get your friends to communicate with me, and because I already have a list set up, and it's looking so far so good, and I'm just getting as many users as I can. And since it's going to be 3 separate sections, and then I'm going to try and put tape on the back and then work as a panoramic photo, and the thing will finally be done. So, let's see. So the bottom of that, the MC mural, is that it's not completely finished. There's still the fill-in sections that I need to do. And some users will be on there, and I'm just hoping that every one of you can try and reference somebody, because I want to make sure as many people are involved as possible and that they don't get left out. And after this thing is done, I'm going to be working on the profile pictures for 2 users. I think it was Mike Johnson and someone that wanted a Greenland ball. Just give me a second, I'm trying to find the name. I have a lot of messages, so it's a large scroll. Oh, yeah. Agu Christensen. And after that's done, I'm probably going to take a while or a small break just so that I can catch up on anime, because I can tell you all the animes that I've ever watched on a single hand, completely from front to back. So I don't think that basically having to be around here and manage everything else would be wise. So what I'm going to do is just take some time off of Meme Center and then just watch all the animes I can within that time frame, so that I can at least understand half the stuff you guys are saying. And with that, I'll just wrap it up in one nice box and just say that Meme Center Mural's not done yet. It still needs the fill-in sections, and I'm gonna try and find as many users as I can, but I need you guys to help around with finding the rest of them, because I know one user even commented, Garrett 1999-03 made a comment about it, and I think that if there's someone that I'm missing, then I want someone to at least try and find them, or where someone else can get to them in time. So with that, this is Phantom Revenant, and I'm going to stop the video now, and have a good day, and I'm going to be working on it as soon as possible, maybe tomorrow, just because I have work in a few hours, so, or, let's see, 7 hours, so I got to get to sleep, and after work I'll try and start drawing, and if not, then maybe tomorrow, or the day after that. So, Phantom Revenant signing off. Have a good